This is Aaron East with MMA UK, and I'm joined this evening by Nathan Fletcher of Next Generation Liverpool. But Nathan has stood out as one of the UK's most talked about warriors and has recently reached the top of the MMA mountain that is the UFC. I'd like to kick things off by thanking you for taking the time out of your evening to speak with me, Nathan, bro.
Thank you very much, brother. No worries. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be chatting to you.
Anytime, man, anytime. And no doubt you've heard this a million times over, bro, but congratulations on getting that UFC contract. You must be so happy.
Thank you, lad. Yeah, I don't get tired of hearing that, don't worry. So I've been waiting to get congratulated on that for my whole career. So it means a lot. Thank you very much.
Anytime, man. It's a lifetime's work, man. You should be beaming from ear to ear just like you are now.
Yeah. No, I haven't stopped smiling, lad, since I got it, to be honest. So it is. It's been a long journey, like plenty of ups and downs, but I always knew I'd get here. And this was the goal that I set out to achieve when I was a kid. And I got into MMA. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with it.
Yeah, I couldn't be more happy for you myself, man. As a follower of your career, honestly, from what I've seen, I haven't seen your whole journey, as I haven't been in there in your life. But honestly, from what I've seen, you thoroughly deserve it, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Anytime. But taking a look back to get the full story, I mean, let's start with the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, unfortunately, being unsuccessful in your incredible efforts on the show, and what was going through your mind after your inclusion?
Yeah, so Tough was a weird one. I come away from that, and it was obviously a very unique experience. It wasn't just a fight. Do you know what I mean? The whole process of going and living out of there, staying in a house with all these other competitors, training with different coaches, being away from my family. So it was a very a learning experience. Like, there was a lot to take away from it, and then obviously the result didn't go my way. So coming out of the show, I was a little bit disheartened. Obviously I was injured as well, so I couldn't fall straight back into routine and training to sort of keep me mentally strong. So yeah, if I'm being deadly honest, it was a pretty tough time coming out of that whole experience. I think what got me through it was being back with my friends and family, because I'd missed them so much on the show. That when I got home, that was like a big priority to me to spend a lot more time with them and value my relationships with them a bit more. And I think that in a weird kind of way, being injured and not being able to go to the gym every day and train, that actually helped me do that and get some real quality time in with my friends and family. So yeah, it was a weird situation. Career wise, it wasn't how I wanted it to go, but then in the grand scheme of life, it made me grow a lot as a human. I was quite thankful for the whole experience.
Yeah, it's incredible. That's incredible outlook on it, man. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You guys are definitely cut from a different cloth, and to fight with a fractured fibula as you did, I mean, is a pure definition of my statement. I mean, that must have been an experience in itself you will not soon forget. Carrying on with that bout.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, when you're in there, you're fighting. Do you know what I mean? You get hurt, you get punched, you're getting kicked. You don't really think much of it. Obviously, I've got a lot of adrenaline going through my body, and I'm in there to win a fight, so nothing's going to deter me. Obviously, you can see that now. Even a broken leg wasn't enough to stop me trying to finish. And then obviously the format of the show. Maybe I'm delusional, but I believe like if it had gone to a third round, I could have potentially got the job done. Gates can't, even with the injury. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is. There was 2 rounds there. I fractured my leg about a minute into the fight, so I was going maybe 9 minutes with a fractured leg. And I wasn't put away, and I was still chasing a finish and kind of coming back into the fight actually later on, which is great, really, considering. So, yeah, cool experience. Not the way I wanted it to go, but I'm thankful, because if it weren't for it playing out like it did on the show, who knows how it would have gone later down the line. And I still got my chance to fight in the finals, and then I got the job done, and now I'm in the UFC. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was watching that myself. I mean, after your leg whipped back the way it did, I was sitting there, my pals like that. I was like, that has got to be broken. We were literally waiting for it to be called, but honestly, that must have just been pure adrenaline taking over for that.
Yeah, it is definitely. You got to get a lot of adrenaline when you fight, so that kind of got me through the pain. And then afterwards, do you know what's crazy though? Even afterwards, like I was, he showed it on the show. I was still trying to train. Like for a few days after the fight, I didn't know that my leg was broken, and I just assumed it was a bit of muscle soreness off the kick. And I was trying to work through it and train, because the nature of the show is the show goes on. People have still got fights. I had to get back in the gym, train, try and take as much from the experience as I could, even though I was out of the competition. And it, until about 3 or 4 training days after the fight where I was like, right, something's not right here. I need to maybe go and get this checked, get this looked at. And then, yeah, it was broken. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy, man. It's a warrior's mentality, I guess. I mean, but as you said, the UFC holds many unique features, and the Ultimate Fighter definitely stands out for me as one of them, man. I mean, to be coached by arguably one of, if not the greatest female fighter of our generation, I mean, it must have been incredible to have the opportunity to gain the wealth of knowledge she holds.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Valentina is probably the best female combat sports athlete of all time, you could say. And the fact that she was able to go and reclaim the title after winning it and defending it so many times is just a testament to the athlete she is. And I've spoke on this a few times, like mentality wise. Sorry, there was definitely a lot to pick up off her. She's very, very focused, very determined, and that's how you can see that even now. I think she may be late 30s, maybe 35, 36, 37ish, pushing on towards 40, and she's still at the top of the sport. So I think she does that by like this extreme level of focus she's got, and she's so disciplined when it comes to camps and training and preparing for a fight. She doesn't let anything encroach on her preparation. She spoke a lot about your energy and sort of protecting it leading up to a fight. So that was pretty cool to sort of pick her brain, somebody who's rose to the top of the sport, on those type of things. In terms of her actual training style and not letting us drink water, I was not a big fan of that.
Oh, wow.
Could have done without that, to be honest, but it is what it is. It was definitely a unique experience being part of the show with her as a coach.
Definitely. I'm really envious of you because when you talk, like, there's been a lot of talk of MMA Mount Rushmores at the moment, and she's definitely on my Mount Rushmore of MMA, 100%.
Right, okay, there you go. Well, she's she's a cool girl as well. She's nice, so it was a sick experience.
Definitely. And I mean, that phone call with the offer just 5 months later, I mean, what, to call you up to the roster? I mean, that must have been an experience the words couldn't even do justice.
Yeah, this was mad. I mean, obviously, when I envisioned this moment, I actually saw it going a lot differently in my head when I was kind of coming up through Cage Warriors, when I was early days of my pro career, maybe fighting for the Cage Warriors title, stuff like this. I envisioned the whole process going a lot smoother and a lot differently to how it went. When I got the call to fight in the finals, I was literally like 3 months on the couch, recovering from an injury, kind of having a little break from MMA after tough and everything not quite going to plan. So I can look back now and say this, but I was 100% not in the best shape of my career at all. Like I was probably I got the job done, and I put in work in those weeks from when I knew about it. But that was probably the worst prepared I've ever been for a fight. Do you know what I mean? And I was still able to go and perform the way I did. It was pretty short notice considering the layoff that I just had with the injury. So yeah, it was crazy. But when the UFC rings and offers you an opportunity to fight, you're not turning that down, no matter what shape you're in. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm glad that I was mentally strong enough to just be like, right, okay, we've got 5-6 weeks here. Let's crack down. Let's get back into a camp, even after this time off. And I know how to prepare for fights. You know what I mean? I've been doing it since I was 18 years old, fighting amateur. So yeah, I just got done, got straight back into camp, and then the performance spoke for itself. I think got the contract, got the job done.
couldn't agree more, man. And for it to be against your Ultimate Fighter teammate as well, I mean, did that come to shock to you? I mean, as you were competing like with each other on the show.
Yeah, that was interesting. I had a feeling that something maybe could come up, because Gigamantis, the guy who I ended up fighting, he won his first fight in the house, but fractured the orbital bone, so he wasn't able to carry on the competition. Now, his fight in the house was great as well. Dana loved it. Dana got into the cage afterwards and congratulated both guys. So I had a feeling that perhaps he could get offered another shot in the finals. And then when you look at the other team, two of Grasso's team were in the final. One of them had already fought Gigamantis, and the other guy had 2 attempts at a fight on the show because he got brought back into the semis when Giga had to get pulled out. So I'm looking at it and thinking that they're potentially going to come to our team and pick somebody to fight him from our team. And yeah, I mean, really, I had no idea, but I just had a little feeling that something could happen, and then it did. And yeah, that was strange, fighting someone who you kind of built a bit of a relationship with. And me and Jigga were friends in the house. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's put that aside for the time we were scheduled to fight. But still, I'm cool with him now. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to at some point again meet him down the line, see him as a friend, and he's a cool dude.
That's very humble, man, and that was a great gut feeling. If you ever get a gut feeling about the lottery, please let me know. Drop me a message.
I will do, brother. I've not had any of them yet, unfortunately, but I'll be sure to let you know.
Cool, man. I mean, with a successful debut, I mean, you now join the ranks of the UFC alongside teammates Paddy and Molly. I mean, how does it feel to be able to represent Next Gen on the largest stage, as well as joining your training partners out there?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's everything I've ever dreamed of, and I believe that I'm not going to be the last one. I think Luke Riley's pretty much there now. I think
Yeah.
Adam Cullen's a couple of fights away from maybe a contenders fight next year. I think Liam Gittins should already be in the UFC personally. So there's a lot of guys knocking on the door, and I think I'm just the next one that got through. But the whole of next gen's coming in behind me. Do you know what I mean? We really are going to take over the UFC, especially from the UK side of things. I feel like our gym is the top gym in the UK. Do you know what I mean? And we're all going to be represented on the world stage. And yeah, it won't be long before the UK UFC cards have got half the next gen roster on. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it feels really good to be in there now.
It's definitely a golden treasure trove from Cage Warriors, as well as, I mean, there's going to be some more belts. I mean, it's going to be like a Dragon's little hideout soon enough down at next year.
Yeah, definitely. It already is. Do you know what I mean? It already is.
Mm.
But it's all to come, brother, as well. We've got many more years of taking over this game, so I'm excited for it all.
Definitely. I mean, now all that's left is to wait for that inevitable call to compete once again.
Mm-hmm.
And with both the divisions you've competed on and competing at the moment on fire at the moment, I mean, there's no shortage of potential collisions for you. I mean, I know it's out of your hands, but just for fun, I mean, who would your preferred choice of opponent be for your next walk to the octagon?
Do you know what? I could sit here and say what people probably want to hear me say, which is Caelan Loughran. Like I am definitely thinking about going back down to bantamweight.
Mm.
But I'm not thinking about it. I am going back down to bantamweight. Do you know what I mean? I am a bantamweight, and I only took that featherweight opportunity was because it was the way I saw my into the UFC. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
realistically, I'm a small featherweight. I'm a good sized bantamweight, so I'm looking to compete at 135, and that fight makes sense. Now, really, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I don't care who I fight. I believe my skill set is up there with some of the best guys in the world. I would like to test myself against all the best in the world. I want to climb the ranks and get in the top 15 and have a crack at the belt. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm in now, is to go to the top of the sport. So whoever they give me, I really don't care. I believe I can beat a lot of men on the planet, especially at 61 kilos. But if it's like a UK card, maybe there's a bit of background there. There's a bit of history with us. So a name, if I had to give one, Caelan Loughran would make sense.
That's an incredible shout, man. I mean, but many watching and many fans of you both would like to see that one.
Definitely. Yeah, well, we've already fought as amateurs as well, so we've got the history there, and there's been little bits of back and forth over the years, more so with my teammate Paddy, to be honest. They were going at each other in Manchester. Yeah. But yeah, I think it would make a good build-up. I think it'd be a good fight. So that's a name I could throw out there, definitely.
Not a bad shout, man. With your previous gut feelings, I mean, this gut feeling could come true too. And I for one, I truly do hope it. I truly do hope it does. I mean, and I'll be definitely keeping a close eye on your future announcements, bro. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today, Nathan. Wish you all the best for your preparations for your next walk, brother.
Thank you very much, lad. Thanks for having me on as well. I appreciate it.
Anytime, my friend. But before you go, last but not least, do you have a message for the viewers, your fans, and anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Me fans, yeah, all the fans I've got. No, just same as always. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting me on this journey. It's not been easy. Obviously, there's been a lot of ups and downs. It's not been smooth sailing, but everyone who always buys tickets to come me fight or messages me afterwards and stays in touch, I appreciate all the support, and it does go a long way. And that's what spurs me on and fuels me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm planning on carrying on this journey and going all the way to the top. So stay with me, and I promise it'll all pay off.
I'll definitely stay along for the ride, brother. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right. Thank you, brother. Speak to you soon.
And take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.